podcast where I tell you about my personal news about what's going on in the world of Hasan, Hasanabi, Piker, in between the time period where I press the stop streaming button and press the start streaming button. So help me God, that's what I'm going to do. As always. But hold on. Anyway, why haven't you had Mufasa on the stream? I don't even know where he is. Folks, this is part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news and about what's going on in the world of Hasan, Hasanabi, Piker, in between the time period where I press the stop streaming button and press the start streaming button, so help me God. And a lot has taken place. You might have already seen it. You might have already known it. I ended the broadcast yesterday. Another like 8-hour broadcast, half day Hossy. You already know what it is. Okay. And then afterwards, I just hung out with my dad. I watched Peacekeeper, one of the, what's it called? James Gunn. James Gunn is bringing woke back in a big way. Low key, high key. Like, he's Peacemaker. Yeah, it's very good. It's actually very good. James the Gun, never James Gunn. I mean, James Second Amendment Gun. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. Dude, are you also seeing the alt-left pipeline, swoletarian, gym bros, and TikTok? Hasanabification of lifters is finally happening. I mean, a lot of them are Hasanabi heads in general. A lot of them are you guys. So I'm glad that the alt-left shit is happening. I think James the Gun, never James Gunn. James Second Amendment Gun is low-key also on the alt-left pipeline, if we're being real. I feel like he's also an honorary member of the alt-left pipeline. Creature Commandos was already great, and I really enjoyed it, but I didn't realize that the piece, I keep saying it wrong. James One in the Head Gun, yeah. I didn't know Peacemaker was like that. A community member worked on Superman and confirmed he is alt-left. Yeah, we're the alt-left, baby. Alternative left. It's finally happening. Go watch Leo bomb ICE facilities at the movies this weekend. Dude, do not worry. Listen, I know Leonardo DiCaprio is a weirdo. And I know that he said he was going to build a hotel in Israel or something. But peak Thomas Anderson making a movie about one of Noah Colwyn's favorite books that he's been super stoked on. Okay, I'm sorry. I got to see what that's about. I got to see what's going on there, okay? I heard spectacular things. About that. So we'll see. Also, Paul Thomas Anderson, apparently one of the, I'll take the hat off. This is just for fun, for the intro, for in honor of Kneecap. But Paul Thomas Anderson apparently released some movies that he recommended to watch as a precursor to get acquainted with this movie. And the movies that he recommended, one of them is the Battle for Algiers, I think. Like, so I don't know. I don't know if he's actually, I don't know. I don't know if PTA is a pro-Israel kind of guy. It's peak, and not both sides at all. Threads flagged the post for Antifa terrorism, and it was literally released to Epstein files, and it made me laugh. Yeah. In any case, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to watch it because it's supposed to be like Noah was telling me all about how like the book in and of itself is all about like the change of an era, like the change of political culture at the time that it was created. And that PTA, if its adaptation is like faithful, will be more of an assessment on like the modern iteration. So we shall see. Hold on. But do you have any plans to, or have you seen The Long Walk? No, I do want to see it. I do want to see it. Okay, anyway, we're going to get the hat. I don't even know where I got the hat from. The search recommendation, you weren't even mentioned on the TikTok. Men in the alt-left pipeline are hot. Search Hasan Piker edit. That's funny. I mean, let's be real. This is like, I've been building this brick by fucking brick, okay? I've been building this shit brick by fucking brick. What the hell is this, bro? You just sent me a downloadable link. What do I tell you about downloadable links? Take a second off. I've been building that shit brick by brick for years, man. It's been goddamn years. Whether it be the swoletariat, broletariat, constantly talking about like the importance of working out. I'm glad. Get noted. Oh, this got onto the top of the leaderboard as well. It seems like there are people out there who I guess see when people are being racist. Okay. And I'm glad that there is at least some semblance of humanity out there. Because like this kind of shit in the past, I think, like for the past year and a half or for the past 2 years, this kind of stuff was basically fair game. Like my former podcast co-host was doing memes like this, you know what I mean? Like, and I think 2 years ago, if someone was saying something like this on Reddit, they'd be promoting it. And it goes to show you even Reddit, which is like neoliberalism, State Department Central, they have also gone woke. They're woke. They're woke on the issue of Palestine. They're woke on this stuff. Sending Hasan to New Jersey is a punishment in and of itself. Turkey, I can understand. New Jersey is where I draw the line. I don't know, man. You're the One Piece left-wing pipeline. Oh, that's the other thing. There's mad, like, there's so much. This has been, listen. Many weeks have been weeks of vindication. Okay? But this week in particular has been a major week of vindication. And it's really interesting because I didn't do none of this, right? I just kind of do my own thing. I keep my head down. I keep pushing. I keep promoting the causes that I believe. I keep advocating. And you know, people keep moving. And it seems like there are it seems that there's like vindication coming from circles that I never thought there would be vindication coming from. Whether it be the Hasanabi alt-left pipeline, which many people are contributing to, and I'm so happy about it. I'm not even taking credit for it, honestly. It's nothing I do is relevant here. It's what you do that makes it relevant. And we'll talk about all of that in a second. But let me get back to the personal news, okay? Let me do the personal news. So, last night watched, I'm going to fuck the name up again. Peacemaker is pretty good. I love the very not so subtle anti-racist, through line throughout the entire work. James Gunn, he's woke. Okay. That's Mr. Woke. That's the CEO of Antifa right there. The real CEO of Antifa. So there's that. Went to bed, woke up early. Another day of 8 hours of sleep. Feel pretty good about that. Woke up early, worked out. They want to vibe with you. What is this? Polar bears? Oh my God. Have you watched The Boys? I didn't watch the last season. It got like a little stale for me. But also, of course, woke up early to hit the mother freaking weights. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Pumping. Pumping, dude. Look at that. Bro, that's no joke. We're talking 220, baby. That's 220 on an incline. 220 on an incline, hitting it for 10, hitting it for a nice 10 spot. You kidding me? Hitting it for a nice 10 spot? God damn. I'm a baby girl. You already know what it is. Anyway. You make the left look way more on the spectrum with the music placement. You and Todek should link for a lift. We used to back in the day. He's too afraid of me. Is incline easier than flat for you? No, of course not. Flat is definitely easier. But anyway, hit the weights. You already know what it is. You know, just got it out of my system. Had to do it. Had to do it for the one time. Okay. Had to do it for all of the proletariat, swoletariats out there. Okay. You too can also join your local swoletariat, get a lift in. And aside from that, I've just been paying attention to what's going on in New York, what's going on with the flotilla. It's pretty crazy. And also, anytime I go on my TikTok is vindication, pure vindication. And it's been a crazy moment to experience so much of said vindication. Now, let me blast off real quick and we'll talk about that. Freaky Friday. We also got a special guest, Jennifer Welch, in the building later. She's going to be on the next episode of Fear and, of course. Okay. What's the yellow plushie? It's a guratama. It's a little egg. It's a little cute egg. Also, rest in power to Asada Shakur. We'll talk about her legacy as well, obviously. Freaky Friday. What the hell? Already hitting a quick lick early on. That's cool. That's cool. I love that. We gotta get those out of the way early. We gotta get those out of the way early, chat. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Gotta get it out of the way early. We got to get it out of the way. You already know. Let me blast off real quick. Bust it down. Sexual style. Netanyahu delivers speech to empty UN flotilla gets naval protection. U.S. hates Israel's genocide, but it's still not enough. Trump fires attorney and then indicts Jim Comey. You were wearing a different hat before the F. Did you get replaced by an Israeli deepfake? Yeah, that's why I'm wearing a hat that says Makawama on it. Anyway, SEIU UHW used your speech. Wait, really? Oh, hell yeah. Nice, nice. That's from 4 days ago. That didn't get a lot of fucking love, it feels like, but.
In the face of such tremendous cruelty, you must never succumb to nihilism. You must always maintain revolutionary optimism. You must always continue to organize. You must always continue to agitate. When we fight.
Oh my God. Oh my God. They're doing aura edits. Oh my God. I like that. Stavi is repping your merch on his YouTube show, timestamped.
I'm not trying to be rude. Get the gay guys mad at me at Equinox. So the camera angles aren't great, but here, as you can see, those are my nuts while I do a wall sit. And then, you know, some body weight squats. The whole workout was pretty tough. We're going to do some plank.
You got the Himbo Fitness on. Let's go. How many bodies is this?
Yo, I'm straight, but give me some wine and put me in a room with Hassan Piker. I don't even need to say anything else.
That's crazy. That is, I don't even know what to say about that. That's a crazy statement. This is the type of
Yo, I'm
shit.
straight.
This has the exact same effect on like a Republican that TikTok clips about people speaking perfect Mandarin, talking about Xi Jinping save me has. They think like I'm gayifying the youth. Well, this guy's not the youth anymore, but goddamn, I want to role play as Nancy Pelosi and have him hate bleep me. I don't need the wine. That's crazy. That's crazy. We gotta. Dude said you're hot and you called him old. I'm old, man. I'm saying he's not. He's luckily not so young that people are gonna be like he's making the youth gay. He's gonna say they're making like 25 plus year olds gay. But goddamn, don't forget about your vindication. Yeah, don't worry. I'm going to do that real quick. Did I blast off already? I forgot. Oh, because I got an F while I was trying to blast off. Freaky Friday, Netanyahu delivers speech to MTUN. Flotilla gets naval protection. U.S. hates Israel's genocide, but it's still not enough. Trump fires attorney. ICE cruelty goes viral. Hasanabi vindication week. Okay. Hold on. Not enough. Jen Welch from I've Had It on Later. What the heck? Man, what a early gray bar start, dude. What a great start to this Freaky Friday. Will you watch the new South Park? Prominently features Israel. I already did. I already watched it yesterday. New rewind feature for the channel is awesome. Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah, baby. You can now rewind officially. It's official. You can rewind on Twitch. Twitch now allows you to rewind as long as you are a subscriber. So there you go. That's another. It's paywalled. There you go. Another reason why you should be subscribed to the Piker Broadcasting Service. I'm not even doing nothing out here, and Twitch is just giving me layups for people to subscribe. It's for the time being, I think it's just desktop only. It is pretty crazy that like just a normal component is being only given as a feature for only given as a paid feature. It's turbo only, not subs. No, it's true. Subs can do it too. It's just desktop only and it's sub only and it's turbo only right now. But it's again desktop only for the time being. Charlie the Choco Kobo. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Hasan Clips Daily, thank you for the 5 gifted. Valorant, thank you for the 6 gifted. Wait, what the hell? Valorant? What the helly? BMO Flow, thank you for the 10 gifted. Also, bonus gift subs has started. What is the bonus gift sub? Is that why Valorant is doing bonus gift subs right now? Valorant is bonus gift subbing every 5 gift subs. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, get in there. Get in there. Chatters. Pepper it. Pepper it. Piker Broadcasting Service is up good today, folks. We are up good today, folks. God damn. God damn. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's, I mean, I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Valorant. And to everybody who's gifting. Holy moly. Dude, Qatar is having a great day today. Okay, let me tell you. My Qatari oil gods. Listen, I'm not going to talk about the Riyadh Comedy Festival, but if there's a Qatar Doha Comedy Festival, I'm in there. Okay, I'm in there like swimwear, baby. W Qatar. Yeah, you get a rewind. You get the rewind bonus. You get the Valorant bonus, the Valorant boosting. I feel like between me and Kai Cenat, we're gonna brick this system, dude. Like, that is crazy. I can't believe Valorant would do such a thing. That I don't know how much money they're gonna be wasting on this thing. Valorant, do the next thing in Doha, and I'll be there. How about that? New York City is the Doha of America. Open press with 100 gifted subs. God damn. God damn. All right. This is turning into a freaking subathon over here. We just started too. That's crazy that there's so much motion. Holy moly. All right. First, I'm gonna get started on the Hasanabi Vindication Week because it's vindication in ways that I never thought would be happening. But apparently, this is on. We made it to the top of the leaderboard on Reddit. We're on r/all, and it's a positive way. It's not like a fucking base boosted, heavily brigaded live stream fails clip. It's actually Laura Loomer demanding that I get deported. Which, of course, if you know who Laura Loomer is. Jigsaw from the Saw series, you might have seen her. She was really popping in that. I mean, she did a great job. Like she's got acting chops for sure. But she's also one of Donald Trump's most loyal servants. Donald Trump called her a free spirit, as you guys know. And Laura Loomer has, all jokes aside, straight up made the administration do things like purge the national security. The NSC, like literally under her watchful gaze, she was able to stamp out disloyal people in the National Security Council. She's revoked visas for Palestinians Revoked medical visas for Palestinians that were coming to the United States to get like immediate medical intervention. So when she says, hopefully today President Trump can negotiate the permanent deportation of Hasan Piker back to Turkey, it's time for him to go home. Like this is a person who unironically has motion in the administration. So I'm a little worried. But even then, I did still turn around and say, I was born here, dumbass. To which, it seems like a lot of people also liked it because he got 300,000 likes, and because of that generational ratio, I'm gonna keep it $150. I might be the first American citizen, natural-born U.S. citizen to be denaturalized and also sent to a separate country. Like that might actually be the case. You've lawyered up. I mean, I got the ACLU with me. I got all of the civil rights lawyers are they're basically salivating at the prospect, from what I understand, of being the person who successfully defends a precedent-setting legal case. So if some shit like that were to happen, I feel like I'm fairly well protected. But I do also have this I have this secret belief that Laura Loomer kind of likes me, I think. I'm not even joking. She's been following me for years. So that might be my saving grace. I'm not even joking. There are so many of these right-wing content creators, women that have for years and years follow me, and I've just been shitting on them relentlessly, and they still do. And I don't know if it's like a hateful follow where they're hate watching, or if it's more I don't know, following for a different reason. You have such a bad judge of character, though. Wait, what do you mean? I think that's your ego, my guy. Wait, what? Lauren Chen for years fucking followed me when I was calling her a white nationalist, white supremacist. Why? Come on. But maybe it's because I do every now and then put a cock shot up there, on the timeline. It's for them. It's for the white nationalist ladies to fucking turn it around and no longer be white supremacist, white nationalists. All right. In any case, as I was saying, we got numerous points of vindication that I want to talk about here. Number one, we did it, Reddit. Okay, Reddit no longer hates me, seemingly, because they hate the administration so much that when one of the administration's top dogs says we got to deport this guy, all of a sudden I'm at r/all, but in a positive way where people are defending me. That's shocking. Okay, let's be real. I'm not used to this. Number two moment of vindication comes from the alternative left, something that I've been building brick by brick for many, many years, and it's finally here. We got a bunch of brolic dudes promoting the notion of a well-organized swoletariat, making me very excited. For years and years I've been pushing for this, and I'm glad that mad people are doing it now. And this person is not even referencing me apparently, but there's still Hasan Piker edits in the background there. But I love that. This dude. War tactics used abroad will eventually be used domestically. The proletariat must be ready to defend itself. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's all dudes like this. This is he on the gear for sure. I don't have any issues with that. I don't got no problems with that. He was already in great shape, and then he got in even better shape. Look at it. mean, you don't know if he's on gear actually, but you don't know that. You don't know that. He was already fit. He was already fit in the first photo. Maybe he's just natty. In any case, I've been seeing that. That's another point of indication. Let's put that out there as well. Respect to all the Hasanabi heads out there doing the damn thing. Okay, to all the alt left, the swoletariat. Okay, and then last but not least, my timeline has been going nutty mode on One Piece. Okay. It has been crazy. There's like a million different One Piece TikToks that have gone hella viral. Okay. Like insanely viral. And it's completely out of nowhere. I don't even know what this is about. But I guess Trash Taste, or not just Trash Taste, but like the anime man, Joey, has been under fire lately because I think he made like a YouTube video or something where he was like talking about anime tourists or some shit like that. And basically, they've been yelling at him over that. They've been yelling at Trash Taste over that. And in the process of like getting mad at Trash Taste for their trash takes on anime, I guess is the way that things are going. And I don't know what he did. I have no idea what he did. Literally don't understand. But like my For You page has been just all this. And these all have like 100K likes, 80K likes. It's crazy. They got like millions of fucking views. And basically what happened is they are using an old clip from my first Trash Taste, slot that I did, where I talked about how One Piece is political. Now, the irony there is that the dudes, including Connor, were just kind of fucking around. They weren't like, they understood that it was political, but people are basically just using this like short clip to just dunk on all of them, to be like, these guys are fucking idiots. They don't understand. I don't even think that they were like, they were, you know, they were just like playing along. They weren't like aggressively debating me on it or some shit like that. But it doesn't even matter. To be honest, I think they were reacting that way for the content. Yeah, but it's just, it's completely out of my hands. We get it, they're your friends. No, that's the other thing. Bro, what are you talking about? Last time I went on Trash Taste when I was in Japan, this is from the first time I went on Trash Taste. The last time I went on Trash Taste when I was in Japan, it got brigaded into fucking oblivion by Asmongold, Ethan Klein, and Destiny Dick Riders and Trash Taste's own fucking fan base to be like, this guy's a terrorist. Why the fuck would you have a terrorist on? They went crazy. They were like trying to dox the people that fucking work on the background at Trash Taste. And they got so scared from that brigading that they literally came out and were like, we're never letting Hasan on Trash Taste ever again. So people don't even know what the actual reason is. No, they got fucking yelled at. And I never said a damn thing either. I was like, all right, well, all I did was, hey guys, I was on this episode. Go show it love. I don't even have any fucking smoke for these dudes anyway. I don't, it's fine. They're nice people. I don't really give a shit. I'm used to it, right? Wait, so Connor doesn't fuck with you no more? No, not even. Not even. It's not like that at all. It's not like that at all. Not even a little bit. But like in my line of work, in my business, with what I do, I know that there are a lot of quote unquote apolitical fucking shitheads that can present themselves as like fans of whatever particular thing that they're invested in to make it seem like they just have a real point of contention, a real point of anger against me. And they can present it in a way that like at the time will freak people out. And that's precisely what happened. What ended up happening in that situation was they so heavily fucking brigaded that and then celebrated the brigading too. They did it openly that these guys literally turned around and were like, yeah, we're never going to let him on. I don't even know who brigaded. I think Hasan brigaded it. And I was like, brigaded it? I'm on the fucking episode. I just said, go show the fucking podcast some love. But in any case, you know, I don't have any issues with these guys, but I do think it's kind of funny that like everyone is using the one time where they were in an interest of making content out of it, like they were just going back and forth on it. The Australian news is literally covering it. Wait, what?
Why is the One Piece flag flying?
Yeah, that's okay. Let's just start here first, and then we'll get to the Australian news side.
He literally is. I mean, he's fighting. I hate that you're kind of.
Hasan was banned from coming back to the Trash Taste podcast after that episode because their audience.
It's not true. That it wasn't that episode. That was I was on again. I was banned after the second time I went on.
Was so up in arms that he would dare to bring the political allegory that is One Piece to the forefront in those conversations. As someone who's been making videos for a short amount of time, it's actually easy to just talk about the different aspects of Nen in Hunter x Hunter. It's easy to talk about the different devil fruits. It's easy for me to respond to comments where people need me to clarify a fight between Hisoka and Crollo. What's hard is to go against the people that side with oppression or the people that are complacent to it, and they don't want you to bring it up. They don't want you to talk about it. They don't want you to take these kinds of stances. As far as I can tell, that is the Trash Taste podcast listenership. They would like to bury their head in the sand of happy-go-lucky rubber boy punching big dragon dude. They don't want to see that Kaido is a capitalist overthrow and a totalitarian regime that owns an entire island and is subjugating its people. They don't want to see these kinds of things because then it reflects reality back at them, and they want to escape from reality. They'd rather not pick a side. They'd rather not.
I think this is a decent assessment for a lot of the One Piece fandom that at the time got mad at me for saying this and was yelling at me. If you remember, a lot of like the big One Piece accounts that were that constantly fucking rage bait didn't even care about what I was saying or the argument that I was making, and turned around and were just simply fucking, remember those like big blue check mark accounts on Twitter at the time? They were going hella fucking aggro on me. They're like, Hasan called Luffy a terrorist. What is he, the one world government? They didn't even understand what I was fucking saying. Like, I was like, he's a freedom fighter. I'm saying he's a freedom fighter. Like, what you would call someone a terrorist in the real world sometimes could also be a freedom fighter. Like, that's the point I was trying to make. But basically, a lot of people at the time were mad, but 2 years after that, at this stage, around the globe, the Straw Hat Pirates flag is now seen as like a symbol of resisting against oppressive governments internationally. Nepal, Indonesia, no matter where people go, there's One Piece flags at the fucking pro-Palestine protests. It is straight up now seen as a flag by the youth. It is now seen as a flag by the youth to resist against unjustifiable systems of oppression. So I would say that this is quite literally one of my most resilient takes.
Advocate for people that need it. They would rather run away. And when you refuse to advocate for the people who need it the most, don't be alarmed when you are counted on the list with the oppressor by the oppressor. It is not only the people that are against oppression who will count you as against them. It is the people who are doing the oppression will count on the fact you will not speak up.
I think this dude's assessment is pretty correct, though. Trash Taste motherfuckers are really chill people. I used to watch them a lot. Anime audience motherfuckers still have a lot of right-wing people do. Very different from Connor, Joey, and Garn's politics. Comes with the territory a bit to self-censor, and also with the additional brigading. They just don't want to be harassed by Hasan haters, y'all. We see how nasty Hasan ops get, and they just want to protect their team and crew. Like that was the real reason. That was definitely the reason. I can't stop people from fucking feeling some type of way about that, especially because at the time it's like I was getting my ass fucked from 11 different directions, whether it be like the Israeli government, literally, or whether it be like a bunch of fucking liberal content creators who were presenting me as a fucking terrorist using the most Islamophobic sentiment that possibly could fucking arrive at to be like, he's a terrorist, he's a terrorist, he's a terrorist, over and over and over again. Now, of course, a lot of those people have shut the fuck up now. Have you noticed? They've been mad quiet because it fucking feels like it's fuck Israel o'clock. Something I've noticed is fuck Israel o'clock right now. That's what it feels like to me. So a lot of those apolitical centrist Andes who made it seem as though they were simply critiquing just the pro-Palestinian side, they've been quite quiet as of late. Just saying. So no, I don't have like, I don't have a lot of smoke for the Trash Taste boys in general. I'm just simply talking about the One Piece's political take. The One Piece's political take has been resilient. The One Piece is about revolutionary politics has been resilient. And it's so crazy because one of the things that I talked to about Timothy Chalamet, who's just like a 19-year-old TikToker at the time. Turns out he's not a part of the Houthis, even though I initially thought, just like everybody else, that he could have been. Turns out he wasn't, right? That we found out in the interview. The one thing that everyone constantly talks about, like about how Hasan needs to be banned. Hasan needs to be banned. He interviewed a Houthi. Once again, I can't believe he brought up One Piece to the Houthi. I can't believe he brought up One Piece to the Houthi. Racist ass motherfuckers, bro. Racist ass motherfuckers. Vindication. If Israel's approval ratings are in the fucking dirt today, what do you think people are going to look at and reflect on tomorrow? The more people recognize the reality of Israel's genocide, the more people are going to come to terms with why some people resist against said genocide in the most like non-violent ways possible too. But yeah, this is not a I told you so moment anyway. This is a moment to continue acting, to continue pushing. Okay?
Your audience will also desert you. I don't know if Lolly Man over here, the anime man, ever realized that he probably
This
had.
is like fucking 3 minutes long. But yeah, my point is, it's funny that like there is like a little bit of miscommunication, I think. There is a little bit of a wrong assessment here, because I don't even think that the Trash Taste podcast is like expressly right wing at all. They do have a very right wing audience, and I think that's probably the reason why they engage in self censorship. And not only that, but also that's the reason why they fucking banned me. But it wasn't over the One Piece take. I'm just correcting the record. In any case, the One Piece takes like popping off. People talking about One Piece is political. One Piece is revolutionary politics. It's great. Another thing that I've seen is like a bunch of fucking 4chan dipshits talking about GI Robot. They're like shitting on GI Robot, being like, GI Robot is actually so lame. The fact that people celebrate this like Nazi killing robot, they just don't understand. Like, people are just dumb as fuck. People are shitting on GI Robot out there. What do you mean? He's just a robot that wants to kill Nazis. The fuck's the problem? When did we get to a point where people don't immediately look at you and go, you're being weird, dog? What do you mean? It's a Nazi killer. That's a good thing. This is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. Like, they tried this shit with Wolfenstein. Nazis tried this shit with Wolfenstein. Remember when it came out, people were like, oh, this is a Nazi killing game. This is really fucked up. And everybody laughed at them. Everyone was like, shut the fuck up. What are you, a Nazi? Why are you offended by this? And it kind of feels like we're at a stage now where people are just way more comfortable about being like, you actually shouldn't celebrate killing Nazis. What a deep shame for everyone. They're calling Indiana Jones woke now for also doing the same. How the fuck do we get here? Yeah, it's this fucking dipshit.
Funny thing about Jerry.
I can't stand this motherfucker. This guy has been like, this guy used to also present himself as a liberal. And I think like this time around, because I remember we watched one of his videos when he was like, I'm a liberal, and as a liberal, I can't stand Hasan Piker because he is a real problem for the cause of liberalism or whatever the fuck. And now he's just straight up a neo-Nazi, like openly fucking admitting that he's a goddamn neo-Nazi. I cannot believe it. Who would have thought people who present themselves as progressives who constantly fucking left bash would be Nazis or neo-Nazis openly only a couple years later? Remember, this motherfucker way back in the day used to talk about how he would try to like attack me from the perspective of like a real progressive. He was like, I'm a liberal, a real progressive. Hasan is not a real progressive. Now this motherfucker is running around shitting on people for celebrating GI Robot killing Nazis and neo-Nazis. Any criticism equals Nazism? I mean, for this, a little bit, yeah. Yeah. If you're this bent out of shape over a fictional robot that kills Nazis, then you might fucking be a Nazi. Something to consider. Maybe as a LARP, but why are you fucking LARPing as a Nazi anyway? Yeah, if you want to know like the fucking brigade, the brigading that went crazy over this was probably my least political. This was the second time I went on Trash Taste, and it was all of these like fucking lolly ass Nazis like this. This dude is a Mexican, by the way. A Mexican neo-Nazi, straight up. Name is Hayasaka Aryan. Like, look, Hasan, I love sex trafficked girls, Piker. Man, Trash Taste fell off if y'all brought Hasan on. Heavy fucking brigading. Do you guys think the Houthis like Luffy too? That is the real reason that I was banned from participating in Trash Taste. Anyway. But yeah, very, very strange things happening in the world right now. Very, very strange shit. But it gives me a little bit of confidence that I think a lot of people are beginning to recognize exactly what's taking place, you know? Whether it be Israel's genocide or whether it be the political nature of One Piece and the revolutionary politics inside of One Piece. I still find it odd that the anime community trends more right-wing. No, it makes total sense. It makes total sense. It's escapism. Japan is a very right-wing culture. And a lot of people see Japan as like the perfect society because of its xenophobic tendencies. whether it be also pedophilia too. There's that too. It makes a lot of sense. Japan is a fucking ethno state. Having said that, however, of course, there are many Japanese people like Hideo Kojima or even Oda himself that have, or even fucking what's his face, Studio Ghibli. Like, there are mad fucking revolutionary Japanese people out there. Now, some of their politics might not be super in line, but yeah, Miyazaki as well. Miyazaki is Hayao Miyazaki, not the best person in his own personal affairs, but his politics are very interesting. His politics are very great. He is a anti-AI, very worried about climate change, anti-imperialist, an open hater of the United States of America, anti-fascist. So there are a ton of incredibly important artists and auteurs in Japan that do not reflect the broader views of Japanese society, or rather have a very unique take on a lot of things, especially in comparison to like American perspectives. Yeah, Miyazaki was a literal Marxist organizer. Yep. So remember that. And there's also a shit ton of mangakas that have come out in support of Palestine. So there's that famous drawing that represents Palestinian resistance. I forget. It's like the kid with his hands behind his back. A bunch of Japanese mangakas actually redrew that in their own art style as well. There was like a sequence, Handala, yeah. There was a sequence of like Japanese mangakas that redrew that. All around the world, artists did that in an effort to show their pro-Palestinian leanings. And a bunch of Japanese mangakas also did that too. I think you don't really know Oda, individualism, Darwinism, and Kojima, misogynist, anti-woke. Oh my God. I don't care, man. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. Please stop. People are multifaceted. I literally already accounted for it. And I said that they're not going to correspond to your worldview 100%. Okay. Shut the fuck up. God damn. The perspective I'm talking about is like revolutionary politics or anti-imperialism. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Stop being fucking like stop refusing to hear what I'm saying and then making up your own mind about it. Okay? Be fucking normal. Jesus Christ. Vodka too. Why do you care so much about sending immigrants back to their own countries? They'll be happier there with their people. Opinion disregarded. Ignore that shitter. Oh, he's just trying to be what? What is this? Aren't you worried that you're in a congressional hearing? A compilation of all your hyperbolic calls for violence won't be played? Just an observer. Don't worry about it, big dog. Just an observer here. Just an observer that's like fantasizing about the federal government taking action against my least favorite Twitch streamer. I promise you, your life is not going to get better if I get banned. I mean, maybe I will, you know, maybe they'll apply the correct amount of pressure and then Amazon will say, fuck that. You know, fuck this guy. Okay, I'm gone. I'm gone from Twitch. Did anything change for you? No. You have to fix your own life. You can't live like this, okay? This is unsustainable. It's unsustainable. You know for a fact my rent goes up by $20 every time you do gaming? Yeah. I will never understand that. if you just spent a little bit more time listening to what I actually had to say instead of hoping that I get fucking banned because someone tuned you up into believing that I'm a bad dude, you'd probably be in a happier place. You'd probably be more cognizant of who is actually causing harm in your life. Because it's certainly not a fucking random socialist Twitch streamer that you think is like this evil beacon. You feel me? Anyway, we'll get to the Netanyahu speech in a second. There was another thing that I was going to talk about as far as vindication, but honestly, I can't remember what it was. Massive crowds rush iShowSpeed, YouTube star iShowSpeed as he tours San Francisco.
What do you love about San Francisco?
We'll start with something funny.
So fun here. It's lit.
It is lit. YouTube streaming sensation iShowSpeed put San Francisco in the spotlight. He just wrapped up a whirlwind visit, and he took the...
I will say, it is kind of funny to me that this man has traveled the entire planet. He's gone to places where it's quite difficult to stream, and he has been able to pull off streams no matter where he is around the planet. And his America tour has been a spectacular failure. And I don't mean like, oh, it sucked or whatever. I'm just saying that like the infrastructure is so ass. Like the things that he gets to do are so limited. It blows my mind. What a deep shame for all of us. What a deep shame for our country that this dude did absolute banger streams in China. And when it came down to it, in the United States of America, his own goddamn country, he couldn't fucking pull it off in the same way. And it's not even his fault. It's not his fault at all. This is what I always say. America is a third world country with a Gucci belt. This is what I fucking mean, dude. This is what I mean.
World with him to some iconic spots on this adventure. Good evening, I'm Amadeus.
And I'm Dan Ashley. Thanks for joining us. It's been fun today watching this. So many people are wondering, who is iShowSpeed? His real name is Darren Watkins Jr., and he is just 20 years old. Rolling Stone magazine named him the #1 influential creator this year.
That is incredible. He has more than 44 million followers on YouTube and 40 million on Instagram. Speed, as he's known by his fans, is currently on a 35-day tour of the United States, and he is live streaming around the clock. He's done a number of sprint race challenges, including taking on Olympic gold medalist Noah Lyles.
Now, this is day 29 of iShowSpeed's tour, and he got a pretty good taste of the Bay Area, really, during his time. He met up with San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie at City Hall and hit the Golden Gate Bridge across the bay. He dropped in on some popular Oakland businesses.
That's right. ABC 7 News reporter J.R. Stone joins us now. J.R., as we watched it live, the crowd just descended on him, treated him like a rock star. And I saw you out there running to catch up.
Oh, it was a run all afternoon. I talked with one tourist this afternoon. He said, J.R., I thought President Trump was in town. That came from a tourist this afternoon. I spoke with another crowd.
Dude, I love watching boomers try to understand shit that we do here on this side of the world. You know what I mean? It's always so funny. Yes, I saw the hit and run. Okay. And no, I don't think Trump would get this level of motion if he actually went to San Francisco. Let's be fucking real. Xi Jinping maybe, but not Donald Trump. You feel me? Donald Trump would not be as welcome to the Bay Area as iShowSpeed. Let's be real. Okay? He is getting no love in the streets. People are probably stampeding to be the first to spit in his direction.
Out of people at Pier 39 who said they didn't know what was going on. They thought something was going on. So they ran into a store at that point because they didn't want to get trampled at that point. I have to say, though, the kids were so excited, and I was excited for them. Surrounded by bodyguards and dozens of screaming teenagers, this is the influencer known as iShowSpeed, or Speed as they call him, walking along San Francisco's Pier 39 on Thursday.
You're a real one. He's a man. Like, you don't switch up for nobody, bro.
If you don't know Speed, who is flanked by adoring fans everywhere he walked when we were with or near him, your kids probably do. He has more than 40 million followers on each of his social media platforms, including YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And he seems to be a fan of the news.
Wait, it's the news. It's the news.
You got it. What do you love about San Francisco?
The energy is so fun here. It's lit. Everybody turning up in San Francisco.
I spoke with him before he hopped on the carousel at Pier 39. Just to get to that location was madness.
I was over there and I was trying to see Speed and like completely fell over, like trampled. And then Speed like picked me up, of course. Like
Speed picked you up?
Yes!
Oh man, Speed.
Right? He's so nice. What a great dude.
Speed is streaming 24/7 on a 35-day tour of America.
What do people not know about San Francisco that you've seen when you've been here?
The Bay is very underrated. I feel like people tend to like not shed light on it, but it's very lit here. It's so fun here. There's a lot of fun people here, fun things to do here. And I didn't really know about the Bay at all. So, but now I know, and it's super fun here.
As to what the kids love about one of the biggest influencers on Earth,
He like One Piece, bro. He like anime. He a cool guy. But one thing you gotta know, beat race, man. You not fast.
What is it about Speed that people like?
Bro, we just love him, bro. Speed.
yes, his competitive sayings and barking are a thing online. He took all of that here to Chinatown and showed off his moves. And to the Golden...
Bro, he's just a cultural ambassador. That's it. He's just a chill dude. Okay, good vibes all around. That's it. I will not allow speed slander on this broadcast, okay? I have a lot of respect for him, knowing his career trajectory and where he could have gone and where he chose to go instead, okay? Once again, he has taken two positions that are literally positions that the freaking Democratic Party won't even openly stand for. Free Palestine and being pro-trans, okay? To me, that is so significant, okay? Bye-bye, Israel. Think about the generational attitude change that this man is responsible for. And he's pro-China too. Again, three key policies. He's not anti-China. He's not anti-trans. And he's anti-Israel. Those are, the best. What can I say?
Gate Bridge, where Sky 7 recorded his jump off the railing and onto the sidewalk.
It's just really happy to see him in SF and seeing this community. It's a real dream, like for real.
He makes funny content, but also he travels around in different places. Not a lot of kids right now can travel.
On this day, putting San Francisco and the entire Bay Area on the map.
Shout out to San Francisco. Big Speed. We getting lit. Let's go.
Now, on his live stream, Speed repeatedly said today was the craziest day of his whole tour. He wrapped up his night in Oakland, where he stopped at Hyphy Burger. He was met by a giant crowd, and some folks put on a sideshow. It seemed like a new experience for Speed, who was shocked at what he saw. He watched for a few minutes before getting on his way. Certainly, that illegal sideshow could have led to his live being taken down, but it was not. All in all, though.
Oh, my God. Look, local news broadcasters, don't be a narc challenge, impossible difficulty. Okay?
Day, what a wild day.
Jared, it's like a beetle was in town. And we spent the day learning about this guy, to be honest. So, did you change your mind, or what did you learn today in this process?
I learned about him, too.
This is the first time I've never heard the news calling these people thugs and criminals. Yeah, low-key, he's making local news woke. That's huge. That's huge. Normally, when they would show stuff like that, on a San Francisco local news broadcast, that many black people around, oh my Lord, they'd have the fucking helicopter footage out being like, look at these thugs and criminals. They would have one camera exclusively stationed on a Foot Locker, specifically with the hopes that someone actually breaks in so they can be like, see, I told you, a riot is happening. a black riot. And it's like, it's not even a joke. Like, I've seen this in real time. The thing that I'm talking about with straight up, the thing that I'm talking about happened during BLM protests over and over again, where they would just like play it on repeat. San Francisco just woke in general. They used to it. Are you kidding me? Local news is never woke. Don't be crazy.
I learned that all the kids I know, my godson included, are big fans of him. He's somebody who speaks their language. He likes anime. He likes video games. He travels the world doing just that all over, and they love him for it.
And he seems like a nice guy.
And he's animated. You saw he barks. He says, I'll beat you in a race. He's one of them in their mind. And my godson saw the interview and said, wow, you got to touch speed today. I said, yeah, that was part of it.
He's going to remember you for that.
Yes, yes.
You're a lot cooler tonight.
Yes.
Exactly.
Thanks, Jared.
The terrorism case against.
Anyway, also some more good news. Kneecap rapper's terror case was thrown out. It was already bullshit. Shouts out to the boys, the absolute mad lads. They were innocent. They were innocent always.
The kneecap rapper Liam Ogohani has been thrown out.
Have you spoke to Speed about never changing his stance on Free Palestine? Yes, I have. It's even on camera at the last Streamer Awards. I talked to him about it. Nah, bad take. Fuck those losers spinning out with their cars. Ugh, God, bro. Listen, man. I understand the immediate dangers of things such as that. Okay? I get it. I understand it. The proper way to do that would be to make sure you do it in a parking lot. Make sure you get the proper clearance from the state. Okay? I understand that. But in the absence of that, I'm not going to fucking lose my mind over it. Okay? Let's continue. We're moving on. We're talking about kneecap now. Another moment of vindication. Canadian minister acted on his own in banning kneecap. I know. This is a legal case now, because now that the British case threw out the terrorism, the prescribed terror organization charge, promoting a prescribed terror organization charge, you no longer have any way of barring kneecap from Canada or even the United States of America. Now, of course, the U.S. is a little different. They're massive dick riders of Israel, even more so than Canada. But it seems like the Canadian ban might not hold. And it was just simply, it seems like a rogue MP or something. Sources inside the PMO office told me that Vince Gasparo, member of parliament for Eglinton Lawrence, parliamentary secretary, went rogue and decided to bar kneecap. Let's be clear, there's nothing legal about this. There's no official ban for kneecap from the Canadian government. This is simply based on the whims of my cousin, Vinny Gasparo, who's a big fan of local lackey Adam Lee Wasserman, also known as Lee Stevenson, a.k.a. Chase, on his website. Okay. Speaking of Canada, important news, nationwide strike by Canada's postal workers to bring mail. Yeah. The hogs are turning on each other. I know. The hogs have been going crazy as well. We'll do some hog watch on the Charlie Kirk assassination as well. As you know, it's a let them fight moment for me. But let's take a look.
Following a technical error in the way the charge against him was brought. The 27-year-old, who performs under the stage name Mohara, was accused of displaying a flag in support of the prescribed terror organisation Hezbollah at a concert at the O2 Forum in Kentish Town, North London, in November last year. Well, let's find out more about what was actually said in court, what led to this decision, and we can speak to our culture and media correspondent David.
Bro, let's be real. It's not because of like the charging error and the technicalities. The reality is they went above and beyond. They got tuned up by some of the worst scumbags in the music business. And the same Hasbara operatives went nutty mode, okay? Why did they do that? Because Kneecap went on Coachella the first week and said America and Israel is committing a genocide, which is true, okay? They said a true statement at a music festival. Coachella punished them and changed changed the tent that they were supposed to perform in the second week and actually didn't live stream their performance this time. Your boy was there. We live streamed it regardless. And obviously, a lot of the footage that came from that showed that they came out with a statement that said, fuck Israel, free Palestine. This made people go crazy. They were like, how dare you do this? How dare you say fuck Israel, free Palestine at a music concert? Remember Nova, remember October 7? Okay. And they lost their minds. You got Sharon Osbourne, you got all these like different scumbags, different pro-Israel scumbags losing their fucking minds over it, okay? So they scoured through in the exact same way. In the exact same way that they always do, they scoured through hours and hours of festival footage, concert material to find anything that they could to bring criminal charges. And they urged the British government to take action, okay? For something that these guys did in America, that these fucking dipshits were pissed off about, they urged them to take action in the UK. Because in the UK, there's no First Amendment, and also there are prescribed organizations. So if you are found like even showing support or anything like that about any prescribed organization, you can be found legally liable. You could actually go to prison for up to 14 years. Okay? The very fact that the British government would even take action against a group of artists, or any artist whatsoever, for anything that they've done in a concert is insane. Okay? It is, even in countries that don't have freedom of speech, there's still plenty of room for interpretation because of artistic expression. The UK is no different. Okay? The UK is no different on this. Make no mistake. So the very fact that they had a Hezbollah flag, for example, could still absolutely be protected under artistic expression. So it was already a bullshit criminal case from the start. But in the process, how's your $3 million villa? Aha, very real laugh. Please talk about the assassination. Hasbara is Tero Hasan pro-Israel. How's your $3 million villa? It's nice, man. Thanks for asking. This guy hit every line possible. He just glitched. Anyway. So, where was I? Oh, they should have never actually fucking brought these charges anyway, but they did regardless, and they knew they had no real case, so they quietly tried to drop it. Obviously, it wasn't going to be quiet anyway, but here we are. Now they're saying, oh, it's on a technicality.
So, David, take us through the legal points that led to this case being thrown out.
In short, they missed the deadline. This is all about a gig, took place at Kentish Town Forum back in November in London. Liam O'Hana, as he was described in court today, to his fans, of course, Mahara, was seen with a...
For those of you who don't know, like, this is a diss as well. Mohara is, like, they're also doing a dig at, like... the Irish way of saying his name too. This is something that's like complicated for me as well. Like I don't fully know the details, but like it's a big part of it's unironically a big part of why Kneecap is what they are for the Irish folk in general, is that their goal is to restore the Irish language, right? And what and British people just simply can't say their Irish name, I guess. I don't know. It's just, but it does kind of feel like another like not so subtle dig.
Flag, a Hezbollah flag. He said it was something that had been thrown on stage at the time. He is not a supporter of Hezbollah or Hamas. But 6 months later, a terrorism charge was brought because, of course, Hezbollah is a proscribed terrorist organization. In the end, the decision was made that that actual charge was brought essentially a day late, and so the case was thrown out. And the reason I'm standing here is there was a very large number of supporters here. There's just the final few here this morning. They've been here supporting the band Kneecap and the Liam O'Hana, and throughout it all. And he came out, and it was a huge crowd of people this morning, and spoke on stage saying this was not anything about what they were doing. This was all about their support for Gaza and Palestine, and saying this was a politically...
It's true. That is precisely the reason why this became an issue. And if you want to understand a similarity from my own personal experience, for example, me fucking interviewing a Yemeni dude became a major point of contention months after the fact, when people were like, oh, this is an avenue that we can attack this person and maybe even attack the entire platform of Twitch for not punishing this person. That's not how that works, right? Nobody gave a shit when I first conducted the interview, and in the interview, the person that I interviewed, Rashid al-Haddad, said that he was not a member of Houthi, even though the Houthis were not a prescribed terror organization. Okay, pick it. Even though the Houthis at the time were not even a prescribed terrorist organization, a state terrorist organization at that point, regardless. And even if they were, it's still a First Amendment protected act to interview a member of the Ansar Allah movement. So you can't get upset about that. You can suck my dick if you get offended about that. In any case, people lost their minds months after the fact. They try to make a big deal out of it. They try to manufacture outrage around it. It didn't go anywhere, but that didn't stop people from consistently be like, oh, he loves terrorism. He loves terrorism. He loves terrorism. It's the same shit here.
Motivated, but they have had a number of run-ins over the last few months. They have had their visas turned down going into Canada, so they can't tour there. But today, certainly, they were considering this a victory in court.
Yeah, and David, we're just seeing a bit more detail about the Chief Magistrate there at the
Ireland trip 2026? No, before. I'm either going to go in December or in the upcoming couple of months. I'm going to be in Dublin.
court. Paul Goldspring agreeing with O'Hanny's lawyers, who argued that the Attorney General hadn't given permission for the case to be brought against the defendant when police informed him he would face a terror charge on May the 21st. So as you
Yeah, here is his speech, by the way, which BBC is not showing.
This entire process was never about me. Never about any threat to the public. Never about terrorism. A word used by your government to discredit people you oppress. It was always about Gaza. About what happens if you dare to speak up. As people from Ireland, we know oppression, colonialism, famine and genocide. We have suffered and still suffer under your empire. Your attempts to silence us have failed because we're right and you're wrong. We will not be silent. We said we would fight you in your court and we would win. Today we have. If anyone on this planet is guilty of terrorism, it's the British state. Free Palestine, Chucky Ireland.
BBC not showing the speech, like the day-to-day skit of no, okay. Let's not. There's too much to cover still, so I'm going to move on from this. But
say that
I'm going to
technical
finish this
issue
article
over
and
the
then
timing
and then
of
we're going
this.
to move
In
on.
his judgment, Mr. Goldspring said these proceedings were instituted unlawfully and are therefore null. And on that point that you were alluding to, David, of where music and politics cross, I mean, what are we likely to see on that front? Because Kneecap now right at the forefront of that discussion.
Very much so. A band formed, I think, back in 2016. They have, as a consequence of these legal difficulties, they have certainly attracted a large amount of extra attention. People aware of their music. Of course, they had the film, sort of semi-fictionalized account of their birth as a band, won a BAFTA award. So they have attracted a great deal of attention, both for their music and for their politics, and this has certainly sort of brought them center stage. They've had to postpone their touring in America as well because of this legal issues. But you only had to see the crowd when they were playing in Glastonbury this year. You realized, you know, all the questions have been raised about whether or not it should be live streamed by the BBC. It was recorded, then played out later. So there was essentially. They have certainly drawn a huge amount of attention because of all of this. And today, when you saw them arriving with a huge crowd of press photographers around them, and this place, christened Kneecap Hill today, absolutely filled with hundreds and hundreds of people. We are out in Woolwich Crown Court. I mean, it's not the centre of London. And when they were at Westminster Crown Court, I mean, they stopped the road. They stopped a part of London. So certainly this has drawn a huge amount of attention.
Anyway. Let's get to it. Netanyahu, our top news story of today. Netanyahu, Israeli Prime Minister at the UN General Assembly. Now, even before Netanyahu made his way to the United States of America, there was already a lot of news. And even before he delivered this speech, there was a lot of news surrounding him. Number one, when he was flying to the United States, he actually had to avoid the airspace of numerous European countries, such as Spain. Okay? Interesting. Big L for him. Good start. When he came to the United States of America, he was staying at the Lowe's Hotel. I believe it's like a $1,700 a night stay that, of course, is taxpayer funded. And people figured out where he was staying. And of course, they wanted to protest around where he was staying. But the American government, once again, did what it loves to do best. Use tax dollars to defend Israel. Breaking, NYPD is mass arresting protesters outside of Netanyahu's hotel, accusing them of making unreasonable noise. What's truly unreasonable is Netanyahu murdering over 680,000 Palestinians. Our noise is resistance. Our noise is justice. New York is on our side, and the cars passing by are honking for Palestine and not letting Netanyahu sleep tonight.
This is not the United States of America. It's the United States of Israel. The same shit that's happening in Israel right now. Israel.
Yeah. Not only did they arrest people that were protesting, they also shut off the entire street around the hotel, for the record, which is even more tax dollars being spent. Interesting. But I guess it's just one fucking speed for America, one speed. Netanyahu is more important than you, tax-paying citizens. Your tax dollars go to you to both defend him in the homeland when he's here in the United States of America. Your tax dollars go to fund his lavish hotel stays. Your tax dollars go to him bringing his literal dirty laundry. Okay? And then your tax dollars go to the militarized police force of the NYPD, shutting down entire blocks of New York City so that Benjamin Netanyahu can sleep comfortably at night, so he can come out and deliver this dog shit speech. Now, of course, things are changing. Things are changing. What do I mean by this? Well, the United Nations General Assembly and its damn near entirety walked out before the Netanyahu General Assembly address. There was a bunch of stuff that Netanyahu did that was also unique that I'm going to be talking about as well. Before the address started, he ordered the IDF to bring in a bunch of PAs into the Gaza Strip. Okay. He brought in a bunch of PAs into the Gaza Strip so that I guess the Palestinians could hear his wonderful speech. There were reports of the Israeli government intercepting the phones of Palestinians and blasting his speech as well. I can't confirm that one. I don't know, but I can confirm that at least the Palestinians that I talked to in Gaza did not hear the speech at all. For the record, not just reports. Netanyahu confirmed it in the speech. Yeah, he was fucking view-botting. Look at this. Jerusalem. In unprecedented operation, Israeli army takes over mobile phones in Gaza residents to carry Netanyahu's UN speech live. In an unprecedented action, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a live broadcast from the UN building in New York, has announced that the IDF took control over the telephones in Gaza residents and Hamas members, and that his speech is now being broadcast live via their telephones. The Prime Minister appealed to the residents of Gaza and made it clear that the war could end immediately upon the return of the hostages, the disarming of Hamas, and the demilitarization of the Strip. We still act as though this is not a concentration camp that Israel has complete control over, by the way. So stupid. So unimaginably stupid. They didn't take them over. They sent an SMS to tune into him with a URL. Oh, okay. Regardless, the fact that they have the fucking phone numbers of every single person with a phone. Cartoonishly evil shit. Despite the loudspeaker operation, so far residents in Gaza complain in Telegram groups that they hear nothing from Netanyahu's speech, which is supposed to be broadcast on loudspeakers deployed by the IDF. This was really funny. And I did check with people in Gaza, and they also confirmed to me that they could not hear the speech. So, you know, their ears were spared. He was mudded. Yet another spectacular L for the Israeli occupational force. Yet another spectacular L for the diaper brigades, piss reel, whatever you want to fucking call it. Now, the speech is long, it's convoluted, and it's more so about flexing, okay? Also, shouts out the quadriplegic. Thank you for the 69 gifted subs, and Valorant as well for the 19 gifted subs. Again, Netanyahu bragging about hijacking cell phones in Gaza to force the Palestinians. He's starving to hear a speech that half the United Nations walked out on. What more can you say? Says Prem Tucker. Correct. And also, this is yet another instance of Israel looking to the Nazi regime and what the Nazis historically did to the Jews and saying, well, that seems like a great idea. We should do that in our own Holocaust. The photo, this is from Rami Abdul from Euromed HR, Human Rights. The photo shows Israeli army trucks with loudspeakers broadcasting Netanyahu's speech to displace Gaza residents. Where did the Israeli army get this idea? From the Nazi German army, which spread Hitler's propaganda in concentration camps. I swear to God, it is literally 1-to-1, dude. The only exception is that there is just not a gas chamber. That's it. Like, it is the same kind of mechanized death taking place inside of a ghetto, a ghettoized population, a concentration camp. Yes, yet. They're being starved to death. They're being bombed into oblivion. It is a 1-to-1. Bro, come on. The Japanese do the same thing for political messaging. This is not new. Dog, you just brought up another fascist government. You just brought up another fucking fascist government. Yeah, no shit. I know. This one is unique, though, because literally, this is a very significant historical event that impacted the entire Jewish world. Okay? That's why I'm saying they're literally looking at shit that the Nazis did to their great-grandparents and going, this is my shit. I like it. I'm going to do it myself to the newfound enemies. By the way, for additional Holocaust context, see if you can spot the similarities. The Nazis tortured the prisoners whom they had branded as nationless fellows with speeches by Nazi party leaders. All this had been introduced with hours and hours of speeches by Hitler and recordings of march music. Anyway, the speech is ass. I don't even know if I want to watch the whole thing. It's a European Jewish experience, not world Jews. True. Fair. But it's so consequential and so impactful that like every Jewish person around the planet has felt it, is what I mean. Like it's something that has impacted every single Jewish person culturally. So I hope they show a crowd shot. That's what I want to show from this speech first and foremost.
Please, order in the hall. Please, order in the hall. Please, order in the hall.
Cucks.
Please order.
Danny Danon, please clap. What are you doing? You are Hamas. You are Hamas. All of you. You are all Hamas. I am Danny Danon. Why are you leaving? No politic here. No politic. Israel number one. Israel number one. Anti-Semitism. It's like upvoting your own YouTube comment. Yeah, true. True. See, there are people who love Israel. I love Israel. Danny Danon. Do you practice in the shower? No, I've just heard his dumbass so many fucking times that it's just burned into my conscience. Do not walk away.
In the hall.
You are walking away anti-Semitically. You are all Hamas. It's wild that, yeah, someone pointed this out, but it's wild that there's traffic walking out. That's how many people are walking out, that they're like bumping into one another. Oh, man. Now, Of course, this is still symbolism, but it is consequential. It is meaningful. Even if it's like the conditional state recognition is still consequential, it's still meaningful. These things take time. Remember, I understand why people are frustrated. Just remember, if you're frustrated, that means that our job is not over, okay? You just got to keep pushing. You just got to keep bringing more allies to the cause, more people to the forefront, more people to engage in direct action, more people to mobilize. It is what it is, okay? That's why I always say whenever I see new polls that come out where people are like 56% of Americans think Israel is committing a genocide. 60% of Americans don't like Israel, stuff like that. I'm like, it's not enough. Okay? It's not enough. We got to get those numbers up. And I'll be talking about that in a little bit because a new poll just came out. Those are rookie numbers. It is a real shame that Americans are still asleep.
Please order in the hall and please be seated.
Why didn't the UN arrest them? Because the UN has no power, okay? He's in the United States of America, he's in New York, and he's Trump's daddy. So that shit's not happening, okay? It's like asking, why did the UN not arrest Donald Trump? By the way, they brought in hype men in anticipation for this. The General Assembly Hall is mostly empty as Netanyahu speaks, with many delegations having walked out. But the audience gallery above the hall, where member states can bring guests, is full, suggesting Israel bought a cheering squad as it did last year to compensate for the empty hall. Oh, I would say this is a shameful experience for Israel, but I don't think they have the capacity to feel shame. Because honestly, if you're a fucking genocidaire, like you've already lost your own personal humanity in the process and also the capacity to feel shame. They are literally view-botting, bro. They're view-botting IRL. Who the fuck does that? It is the most pathetic thing. We are loved. We are still loved. Everyone loves Israel. Everyone. It's so fake, bro. It's so fake. They did this with Eurovision too. They do this all the goddamn time, okay? They do this non-fucking stop. Anyway, there were some lowlights and some highlights. I'm not going to listen to the whole thing, but during Netanyahu's speech at the UN, Israeli platforms started reporting that wounded occupation soldiers were being transferred to the Beilinson hospital via helicopter following a security incident in Gaza. The Quds translation says platforms for settlers say that helicopters of the occupation army are transporting injured soldiers from Gaza, coinciding with Netanyahu's speech. The IDF has identified significant progress in the capabilities of the Houthis, including in the developments of the factories underground. This is another interesting development for the record. In remote areas and as secret projects for the benefit of self-production of missiles and drones in Yemen using Iranian knowledge. Not only Iranian knowledge, but real ball knowers know that is also DPRK knowledge. DPRK knowledge of tunnel systems were handed off to the Iranian government, which is now using that same knowledge for the Ansar Allah movement in Yemen. Okay? Efforts to reach a security pact between Syria and Israel have hit a last-minute snag over Israel's demands that it be allowed to open a humanitarian corridor to Syria's southern province of Suwaida. Four sources familiar with the talk said to Reuters. And despite the loudspeaker operation so far, residents in Gaza complain in Telegram groups that they hear nothing from Netanyahu's speech, which is supposed to be broadcast on loudspeakers deployed by the IDF. Anyway, Barry says, I've been following all of Netanyahu's speeches in international forums for 2 decades. I don't recall a worse and more failed speech than this. even in terms of his stuttering and lack of fluency in delivery. This is from Channel 12. He brought a bunch of the idiotic and racist fucking placards, as you are familiar with. Also, in preparation for his speech at the UN, the Prime Minister's office launched an unprecedented propaganda campaign in New York, before I forget to mention that as well, with dozens of billboards and trucks around the UN building and in Times Square, bearing the message, remember October 7. Okay? That was their big push. That was their big fucking push. They were like, remember October 7, October 7. They had the fucking trucks lining up. They had the trucks lining up all over New York City being like, remember October 7, remember October 7, which I don't think people are going to be thinking about that right now. So they were view-botting with the trucks as well. Yeah, he brought back the curse, showing all of the enemies of Israel. So far, Netanyahu has listed everyone they have killed in the last 2 years, and now he's praising Trump for bombing Iran. UNSC sanctions on Iran must be snapped back. What I ask you to do, hold up your phone, zoom in, and you will too see why we win and why we must win. Of course, he had a QR code on that little button that he had. Well, not little. That large-ass fucking button that he wore, which I guess would beam you propaganda directly to your phone. Do not scan that shit, by the way. I do not want whatever kind of fucking insane phishing operation Israel is doing with that shit. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, and I don't suggest you do either. Netanyahu is now speaking directly to the prisoners of war via the loudspeakers that he set up around Gaza. Nothing interesting, just a PR stunt. Netanyahu is now quizzing the General Assembly. Who shouts death to America? Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, all of the above. Fucking idiot. So stupid, so fucking desperate. Anyway, and then he turns around and says, who has murdered Americans and Europeans in cold blood? Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, all of the above. Ironic, because he could ask that question and put Israel in there as well, and Israel would also be a part of the all of the above, for the record. I'm noticing a lack of ISIS in here. I am noticing a lack of ISIS in here. Are they... What's the reason for that, I wonder? Much to consider. Anyway, I'm sorry to say here, yet over time, many world leaders buckled. They buckled under the pressure of a biased media, radical Islamists, and anti-Semitic mobs. When the going got tough, you caved. And he just was complaining about how world leaders are caving to the principle of democracy that they must maintain, because their fucking populations are obviously screaming bloody murder at Israel's bloody murder. He says, you condemn us, you embargo us, and you wage lawfare against us. This is not an indictment of Israel. It's an indictment of you. And I do think it's an indictment of everyone around the globe. As Greta Thunberg said yesterday, Greta Thunberg said she's not afraid of Israel. She's afraid of a world that turns a blind eye to the atrocities that Israel is committing. And it is an indictment for sure. It's a Twitter post, my dude. What? Not all Israelinas don't back the genocide. Chill. Stop it. Forget it. They are not. It's a Twitter post, my dude. Wait, what? Are you okay? It's a summarization in the form of a Twitter thread of the things that Benjamin Netanyahu said. I think it's a much better way to get the full vibes instead of having to listen to this fucking demon, okay? Oh, you mean the QR code? Yeah, I'm not touching that. I don't give a fuck.
To Israel, rather, and a mortal threat to the civilized world.
Yeah.
We lift...
Classic speech. We're not fighting. We're not fighting for us. We're not fighting for an exterminationist principle here. We're fighting to preserve Western supremacy. We're fighting to defend the world from the scary forces of evil Islam. That's what it is. We're fighting Islam. It's all of yours. Okay? This war is a war for all of you. Okay? Anyway, Zionism Observer reports, let's talk about the new Israeli atrocity porn website. They promoted their new gore picture website at Netanyahu's UN speech with a large button that has a QR code on it. The code was also promoted on rented trucks driving around New York City. The QR code directs the visitor to Saturday7October.com. Remove the space before .com to make the URL functional. The domain itself was purchased by GoDaddy, from GoDaddy less than 2 weeks after October 7. Classic. The website was delivered to me using a VPN set from New York City from a data center just northeast of Wichita, Kansas, USA. This is a Cloudflare data center, but I believe the site itself is hosted on Google Cloud. The technology powering the website isn't interesting. There is a little bit of tracking software, but not more than most other websites. The website itself is just atrocity porn, photos and videos of mutilated bodies. They have a page entitled Massacre of Soldiers for some reason. When I set my VPN to Israel, the page refused to load. Under the hood site returned a 403 forbidden response code. Wait, what? The QR code, if you are in Israel, doesn't even work? That's funny. Anyway, don't visit it. It's very sus. I'm not touching that shit. Like I said, don't go there. Don't do it. Anyway, oh Jesus. This atrocity porn website seems to be just another example of the current state of Zionist propaganda flailing. Because remember, and this is very important to understand, what Israel has done post-October 7 is a million times worse than October 7. And therefore, them consistently going back to October 7 to be like, this is why we're doing it, is not going to work. The reason why it's not going to work is because for the past 2 years, we have seen you do on October 7 on the Palestinian population every day, much worse than October 7, as a matter of fact, destroying literally all functioning forms of government, killing children, slaughtering women, blowing up every fucking hospital. Like, what are you talking about, October 7? What the fuck do you mean, October 7? This shit is not going to work. Of course it's not going to work. It's ridiculous. If you think all human beings are equal, if you think that the Israeli population are human beings, and you think the Palestinian population is also human beings, you are going to look at how fucking heavily the scales are tilted in one direction. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous to say, like, remember this, this is why we're doing it, over and over again. You're starving an entire population of people. You're blocking medical supplies from going into the strip. You've blown up every hospital. You've blown up every school. You've assassinated everyone that works in the civil governance division that tries to keep things together amidst the genocide. You've slaughtered tens of thousands of children. You've wounded hundreds of thousands of children gravely. And in the process, you have lied. You have stolen. Of course, no one is going to fuck with you ever again. You've killed hundreds of journalists. It's ridiculous. Israel has done every bad possible thing you can do. It's like they've looked at what the Nazis did during the Holocaust as a checklist of what they can accomplish against the Palestinian population. Completely ridiculous. You've even bombed Qatar, a country that is supposed to be a neutral territory for mediation. You've bombed the capital of Qatar. Only a couple miles away are 10,000 American soldiers. That's where U.S. Central Command is. It's fucking ridiculous. This kind of shit, no matter how hard mainstream media pushes for it, is not going to work. Is not going to bring back support for Israel. As a matter of fact, every time they try this shit, I think more and more people go, enough is enough, man. Stop. Stop the genocide. Stop the Holocaust. It's fucking over.
A dark cloud that could have claimed millions and millions of lives.
There was a funny moment too.
But, ladies and
there was a couple funny moments where there's a moment where he demands that people laugh at his joke, which obviously doesn't work. And then there's another moment where he's talking about, Palestinians celebrating October 7th, dancing on rooftops, which I feel like is a flex, right?
We must remain vigilant. We must remain absolutely clear-minded and vigilant. We must not allow Iran to rebuild its military nuclear capacities. Iran's stockpiles of enriched...
Shut the fuck up.
And the bold decisions we took, Israel rebounded from its darkest day to deliver one of the most stunning military comebacks in history.
That's all the peanut gallery that they brought in for claps.
We're not done yet. The final elements, the final remnants of Hamas are holed up in Gaza City.
By the way, his own authorities, his own military authorities have actually directly contradicted this idiotic narrative that they haven't even been able to put a dent in the Hamas militancy. The Palestinian resistance has actually gone back to its initial numbers pre-October 7 in the process of this genocide, because understandably more and more people have taken up arms against Israel. So they failed. They failed spectacularly on every fucking front. It's so unimaginably cooked. Anyway, here it is. Him flexing.
Half the Houthi leadership in Yemen, gone. Yahya Sinwar in Gaza.
Yahya Sinwar in Gaza. Yahya.
Gone. Hasan Nasrallah in Lebanon. Gone. The Assad regime in Syria. Gone. Those militias in Iraq, well, they're still deterred. And their leaders, if they attack Israel, will also be gone. And for Iran's top military commanders and its top atomic bomb scientists, well, they're gone too.
There was that. I want to see the... Oh, here it is. This is where he says, Palestinians celebrated the October 7 attacks.
This week, the leaders of France, Britain, Australia, Canada, and other countries unconditionally recognized a Palestinian state. They did so after the horrors committed by Hamas on October 7th. Horrors praised on that day by nearly 90% of the Palestinian population. Now, let me say that again. Nearly 90% of Palestinians supported the attack on...
Where is this number coming from? And by the way, I wonder why. I know he fucking just pulled that out of his ass, but I'm sure plenty of people did. I wonder why. Really, really strange. I thought that these guys loved Israel and they hated Hamas. I wonder why they seemingly don't love Israel. Yeah, I saw this. BB saying they danced on the rooftops regarding Palestinian response to October 7. You are playing with fire, sir. I said, this is like when Saudi Arabia threatened to do 9/11 again. Like that's him dabbing on us, I think. That's what it feels like to me when he's talking about people dancing on 9/11.
October 7th. It's not supported only. They celebrated it. They danced on the rooftops. They threw candies. That's both in Gaza and in Judea, Samaria, the West Bank, as you call it. And it's just the way they celebrated another horror, 9/11. They danced on the rooftops.
See, that's a flex. See, I don't know if that's him tweaking the algo. I don't know if that's him tweaking the algo for dancing 9/11 Israel. So when you Google it, this comes up. But that's crazy. That's a crazy callback. That's a crazy callback for him to do. Okay? That's just, it comes across like he's flexing.
They cheered. They threw candy. You know what message the leaders who recognize the Palestinian state this week sent to the Palestinians? It's a very clear message. Murdering Jews pays off. Well, I have a message for these leaders. When the most savage terrorists on earth...
This is just a recognition of L's, in my opinion. The way he's like... By the way, when he says the Palestinians... When he says the Palestinians were dancing on the rooftops on 9/11, that's a idiotic statement twofold, because the majority of the Palestinian population living in Gaza was not alive during 9/11. Okay? Gaza is a very young population. The majority of the Palestinian population living in Gaza before October 7 was under the age of 18. Okay? So like any kind of statement like this is so fucking stupid.
Are effusively praising your decision. You didn't do something right. You did something wrong, horribly wrong.
Yeah, also, given the attitude, given the overall sentiment against Israel right now, any invocation of the Nazis, and I said this in the beginning, I said this on like October 8, 2023, I said, if I was Israel, I would not be making ISIS comparisons and I would not be making Nazi comparisons, because before you know it, people are going to be like, Nazi comparisons. I wonder which side in this conflict, if you want to call it that, resembles the military power that the Nazis had and the carnage that they created for a captive population of civilians. So now, because he's still operating on pre-October 7 brain, he's over here talking about like, he's over here easily making invocations to Nazi Germany and the Jews, not realizing that for virtually everyone with 3 acting brain cells, they hear that and go, yeah, that's you. You're the Nazi in this equation.
What, did the Nazis ask the Jews to leave, kindly leave, go out? Did others, you want me to name all the genocidal leaders of history?
Do you think he actually believes what he's saying? I don't think he fucking has a shred of sincerity in his soul. He doesn't even have a soul.
Go one by one. Did anyone do this? Did they say, get out so we can come in? Of course not. What?
Interesting. This is not the first time, but it seems the second time that he is invoking Nazis as a comparison to himself. Interesting. Last week, he brought up Joseph Goebbels for some weird fucking reason. And it wasn't to shit on the Nazis. He used a Goebbels quote positively. And it kind of feels like it's happening here as well. Why didn't anyone arrest him when he's there? Because it's Israel, man. Are you kidding me? Our administration sucks the shit out of his asshole. Get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? Anyway, I'm going to ask a simple question. Would a country committing genocide plead with a civilian nation to get out of harm's way? We are trying to get them out, but Hamas is trying to keep them in. This charge is so baseless. Did the Nazis ask Jews to leave? That's the part that we just saw in the speech. Okay? The irony, of course, is they are literally killing everyone. And yes, the Nazis did actually initially have a deportation policy, the Madagascar plan. So, you know. Once again, if I'm Israel, in the midst of this modern day Holocaust that virtually everyone with a fucking conscience can see clearly, I wouldn't be making such comparisons so easily, because it's just another reminder of the crimes against humanity that you are currently committing in an identical fashion to the Nazis. Netanyahu's talking about 9/11. Giving the Palestinians a state 1 mile from Jerusalem after October 7 is like giving Al-Qaeda a state 1 mile from New York City after 9/11. This is madness. I call on the Lebanese government to begin direct negotiations with Israel. If Lebanon takes genuine action to disarm Hezbollah, I'm sure we can achieve a sustainable peace. By the way, the Lebanese population was polled on the matter, and they do not want Lebanon to disarm. They do not want Lebanon to disarm, and they do not want Hezbollah to disarm either. So the majority of the Lebanese population, Shia or not, actually do not want Hezbollah to disarm at all, which of course makes a lot of sense. Speech is done. No major surprises like Israeli media was hinting at. Seemed like he wanted to lay the groundwork for next year, which will be focused on dismantling the Axis, including the possibility of severely escalating their aggression in Lebanon. I do personally think that there won't be a next year for Benjamin Netanyahu. I do not think that he will be delivering a speech at the United Nations next year. That's my take. Despite the loudspeaker operation, also that was another failure. Hamas, in response to the speech at the UNGA by the war criminal Netanyahu, was wanted by the ICC, a speech boycotted by the majority of world's nations, leaving him isolated and speaking only to himself and a handful of supporters. We affirm the following. It is paradoxical that a war criminal wanted by the International Criminal Court is permitted to lecture at the United Nations on justice, humanity, and rights, while he daily violates and breaches them in the Gaza Strip. Netanyahu's repetition of this propaganda and lies regarding the events of October 7 is merely a backward retreat. Meanwhile, the term anti-Semitism has become a tattered peg on which he hangs his rejection of international positions condemning the genocide he has been committing. His attempts to feign sorrow for his captives and his ridiculous display of claiming to address them through loudspeakers embody a sick colonial mentality. He alone is responsible for obstructing the path to an agreement, guaranteeing their release through his obstinacy. His announcement regarding his aim to control the Gaza Strip and implant a puppet government is pure fantasy that will not be realized, and our Palestinian people, who have always proven their steadfastness and rejection of all forms of subordination, will not allow it. The Hague Group, co-chaired by South Africa and Colombia, there are 34 governments that have agreed on a joint action plan to stop the genocide in Gaza, by the way. Germany says the UN will sanction Iran after fruitless nuclear talks. Germany is looking to widen sanctions beyond snapback measures. The IDF is furious with the prime minister, a senior official has said. The loudspeaker speech over Hamas's head was a serious mistake. The IDF admitted that most of the loudspeakers were taken from IDF bases, whose daily role is to alert soldiers to red alarms. Oh, brother. Incredible things are happening. Incredible. Pure comedy. Piss reel. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, also, here's another mask off moment for those who say, like, oh, not everyone in Israel is against this, like, or a lot of people hate Benjamin Netanyahu. yeah, they might hate Benjamin Netanyahu, but they don't necessarily hate what the IDF is doing in Gaza. They know exactly what the IDF is doing in Gaza. They have access to it on the internet, and they fucking love it. Do not act like that is not the case, please.
My opposition to a Palestinian state is not simply my policies or my government's policy. It's the policy of the state and people of the state of Israel.
Yeah. So when people try to create new off-ramps, when liberal Zionists will inevitably start reading the writing on the wall and start making it seem like, oh, this is just Benjamin Netanyahu doing his thing. Please make no mistake. We don't like this. There is no universal acknowledgement here. There is no universal support here. That's a fucking lie. Okay? The Israeli public is consistently polled on this matter. Now, they will change their attitude. They will. As I have said over and over again, international pressure works in that way. How? Because boycotts, divestments, and sanctions that are being demanded against the state of Israel ultimately will cause Israeli society to not recognize the humanity of Palestinians. Of course, that's never going to happen. However, it will make them realize that they are a fucking pariah state and therefore reconsider their genocidal fervor. This is exactly what happened in apartheid South Africa as well. This is why every little step, no matter how symbolic or fruitless it may seem, matters. Okay? I want fast action. I want all of the international community to get together and create a coalition of the willing to offer unconditional support to every single humanitarian that seeks to rip apart the Israeli blockade and go to Gaza and to stop by force, by putting their bodies on the line, to stop Israel's genocide. I want that to happen too. But I understand in the absence of that, these little things still matter because little by little, it creates a pressure cooker for Israeli society, that there are repercussions for continuing a genocide. You will lose your treats. You will lose your regular standing. People will never look at an invocation of the nation state of Israel the same ever again. People will reconsider their stances on the matter. And it will get to a point where Israel's name is only invoked in a negative fashion. And when that happens, when you lose your Eurovision, when you lose this false notion that like the rest of the planet is perfectly fine with this genocide, when you lose all of the academic freedoms that you had, the freedom to travel freely elsewhere, however you see fit, ultimately, you will be forced to reconsider. It's pure selfishness, I know, but it does not matter. This is perhaps the only peaceful way to change the outcome. And I'll take it. I'll take anything. The full quote cited a Knesset quote. My opposition to a Palestinian state is not simply my policy or my government's policy. It's the policy of the state and the people of the state of Israel. It's not a fringe group. It's not the prime minister or extreme parties to his right. We know. I want you to grasp something else that is also distorted in the media. I say this is not only in my name or the name of my government, but on behalf of all the people of Israel. Last year, there was a vote in the Knesset, our parliament, whether or not to oppose the imposition of a Palestinian state. You want to guess what the results were? Out of the 120 members of our parliament, 99 voted against. Only 9 supported. That's over 90%. It's not a fringe group. It's not the prime minister who is extreme or is held hostage by extreme parties to his right. So this is him hearing the liberal Zionist defenses. This is him being like, Bernie Sanders, fuck you. Do you understand? This is him directly shooting a shot at everyone that tries to design a liberal Zionist off-ramp for the day after He's saying, no, no, no. It's not just me. It's not just the right-wing parties in the Knesset. It's all of us. We all want the shit. And he's right. He's fucking right. Because he's right. And he has proven right over and over again when he has done additional conquests, no matter how silly or insane or belligerent it seems, like when he bombed Lebanon, when he bombed Iran. Whenever these sorts of things happen, the Israeli public stops even protesting Benjamin Netanyahu for a brief moment, and they go, all right, we're on board again. Okay? The thing that holds Israeli society together at this very moment is the continued punishment and genocide of the Palestinian population. It is quite literally the only glue that holds Israeli public together. So it is pertinent on all of us to ensure that Israeli society recognizes that that glue that holds them together is causing everyone to despise them. This is why BDS matters. Okay? Because if they do not oppose this genocide on the humanity of the Palestinians, which is why they should be opposing it, then they will oppose the genocide because of the societal repercussions that they experience. This is why I've also been in support of
Last month.
This is why I've also been in support of what the Ansar Allah regime had done in terms of implementing a blockade that took out one of their fucking ports. You do a genocide, there are going to be economic repercussions. You cannot have a genocide go unpunished. Historically, the repercussions have been military intervention. Okay? That's it. And while Russia, a massive country, was able to design as a part of being considered a foreign adversary to America, Russia was able to design their entire society against this kind of sanctions regime, implementation of sanctions and whatnot. Israel has never factored this ever before, and therefore they would be severely distraught. Israeli society would not be able to exist without unconditional support from the Western world. They can't. They don't have the runway for it. They don't have the industry for it. They do not have the numbers for it. This is a reality that Israel Hayom has also presented. An Israeli newspaper, Israel Hayom, talked about the runway, the limited runway that they have for weapons. Slowly but surely, little by little, the embargoes that are coming in from Western nations, with the exception of the United States of America, of course, but slowly but surely, these embargoes are actually hurting Israel's continued efforts to maintain this genocide. I've been saying this since day one, and all of these fucking dumbass naysayers kept repeating over and over again, Israel's a sovereign nation. They'll get the weapons from elsewhere. I hope that they get banned from everything. Okay? I hope they get banned from everything. They deserve to get banned from everything far before October 7, for the record. What a deep shame for the entire world that it only took a straightforward Holocaust for them to open up their eyes